Hey guys, welcome to this back bend class. Today we're going to be focusing on elbow balances or forearm balances in a nice bendy back bend kind of way. You're going to need your mat, 2 yoga blocks, a TheraBand or a resistance band, and a wall for this class. You can also use a bed or a couch or a chair that is nice and stable for later on when we do our forearm balances. Just follow along, mind your own limits, hydrate whenever you need to, and take breathers if you absolutely need to. As with any back bending, I like to start with some nice core activation to make sure that your low core is firing nicely to support your spine correctly. So you're going to do the following. We're going to lie down on the floor, flat on our backs, and then we're going to take our legs up to the ceiling nice and straight, squeeze them together, pull your tummy into your spine, and make sure that at no point you have any gaps between your spine and the mat. Right? So your core should be pulling in enough to support you. Your legs are only going to go as far as you can maintain the position without going into your back to hold it. Right? So if it's just a few centimeters away, that's perfectly fine. It'll be different depending on your level. You're going to reach the arms out, hover them off the ground, and then contract up to look between your inner thighs. Then shift those legs away and hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Now we're going to do some pulses. 1, we pulse up. 10, 9, 8. Good. And 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Good, well done. Awesome. You're welcome to do some extra core activation exercises at this point to make sure that your abs are firing nicely, especially those low abs to support your forearm stands and your back bending. Okay, so next exercise is going to feel a little bit strange, but you're going to be just fine. In fact, before we do that one, I think we'll do a nice glute activation exercise and then move into this exercise that I'm speaking about. So this is super simple and really good for making sure that your glutes are working for your back bends or for your front splits. It's just a great general glute exercise. You're going to lie down with your hands one on top of the other, elbows out to the side like this. Your legs are apart, but your feet are not turned out. Right? So you don't want your heels to be dropping inwards towards each other. You want your knees to face the ground and the heels to be up towards the ceiling. You can rest your head onto your hands like this and just relax in this position. What we want to make sure that you do in this exercise is that you tuck your glutes, or you activate your glutes and tuck your pelvis before lifting your legs. Oftentimes people lift their legs and just use their back to do that, which really is just pretty inefficient. We want to make sure that your glutes are firing because they are the powerhouse of your back bends, and if we can target them correctly, then you're going to just efficiently move through your back bends so much better and be so much more supported than before. Right? So to activate into those glutes, we're going to do the following. We tuck the pelvis. So you see how my glutes squeeze to do that? I hold onto that squeeze and I lift one leg up and I lower. While we do this, we want to make sure that we're keeping both hip bones in contact with the floor. So we're not lifting one leg so high that the hip comes off the floor. It's not really about the height, it's more about the activation. Okay, so we do 10 on one leg with 10 pulses, 10 on the other leg with 10 pulses. Follow along and remember all of those points. Head down, tuck the pelvis, lift one leg 10, and down, tuck, lift 9, and down, tuck, lift 8, and down, tuck, lift 7, and down, tuck, lift 6, and down, tuck, squeeze 5, and down, tuck, and 4, and down, tuck, and 3, keep going, down, tuck, and 2, and down, leg is straight, hold it up, 10 pulses, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower down. Other side, we tuck and squeeze that glutes, lift, 10, and down, tuck, 9, and down, tuck, 8, and down, tuck, 7, and down, tuck, 6, and down, you're doing great, and down, tuck for 4, and down, tuck for 3, and down, tuck and 2, and down, tuck. 1, pulses here. 10, 9, 8, 7, pull your belly button in. 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower down. Woo, amazing. Good, guys. Really, really nice. Really great. Okay, the next exercise is a cobra rock exercise. It's gonna feel quite strange. So just bear with yourselves and bear with me and do the best that you can. What's really important for this exercise is that your low core muscles are drawn in, right, to support your spine, and that you stay quite rigid in your shape so that you can rock nicely. It's not really about being in the bendiest of positions for the shape. It's more about just staying in a rigid shape and rocking in that position to get the activation in your glutes and your posterior chain firing nicely. It's going to get your heart rate up, it's going to make your body nice and warm really quickly, and it is going to feel a bit weird. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to lie down. Watch it if you haven't done it before. So lying down like so. Instead of pressing up into your cobra like you would normally do, we want to actually press the legs up with our hands. So resist the temptation to push your body up, or your upper body up with your hands, okay? You do as follows. We're going to start by squeezing the glutes to lift the legs, activating there with straight legs, like so. Then you're going to throw your arms back, and it's going to look like this. Back, push, back, push, back, push, back, push, right? And you keep rocking like that for 30 seconds. So I'm going to give you some time now, and you're going to give it a try, okay? So you're going to lift those legs up, squeezing the glutes, keep the knees nice and straight, and then throw the arms back, and then push, back, and push, good, back, and push, back, good, and push. And you're pushing those legs up. You're continuing for 15 more seconds. You're doing really, really great. Breathe. Try, hold it for the whole time. Keep going. Stay nice and rigid. Pull the tummy in. You've got 6 more seconds. Good. Almost there. Good, and 2, and 1. Very nice. Have a breather. Your glutes are probably firing quite a lot. If they're tingling, it's very, very normal. Grab some water if you need to. Breathe. We're going to do it one more time. I'm going to show you a progression. You don't have to progress. It is a little bit more advanced. So you can do exactly what we just did, or you can raise the arms above your head and do it like that. Your choice, right? So looking like this for the original position, lifting the legs, then throwing the arms back, then pushing the legs up. Arms, good. Right? To advance, arms up. And you rock like this. Tummy is pulled in. All right, keep going for 15 more seconds. You're doing great. Breathe. Good. Stay with me. You're doing good. Amazing. You've got 5 more seconds. Keep going, almost there. 2, 1, and coming out. Amazing. Good, guys. That's 2 times 30 seconds. You are most welcome to do this exercise again if you want. I know it's very tiring, but if you are advancing, or if you've done this class a couple times and you want to advance a little bit more, repeating this exercise again is going to be super beneficial for you. So do challenge yourself if you're feeling up to it. All right. So I trust that you guys have warmed up your hips for this class. Ordinarily, I would teach an opening of the hips in my back bend classes, but I know that you have access to a lot of hip opening classes, and I trust that you will do them for your back bends. I'm going to remind you that your hips being open is really, really, really important for your back bends, because they are so much of your back bends. This hip extension, this glute activation, is part of your extension through the front of your body, and if this is tight, then you're going to prohibit your back bend so much, and it's not really going to help you. In fact, it's probably going to lead to injury, because you're going to be compensating with the wrong areas of your body for your tight hips. So before any back bend class, if hips are not included in that class, you need to do a nice hip opening exercise. Okay, great, cool. So hips are open. And we're going to progress a little bit more. We're going to open up that upper back and the shoulders. The shoulders aren't really involved for your forearm balances in terms of them being in extension, but they are connected to your upper back as well as the lats, so we need to open them up in order to progress through some of the later exercises and just to access that upper back nicely. You're going to be on your knees for this next one, and you can do it with your arms on a chair or on a couch. Just make sure your wrists are nice and supported, right? I'm going to do it with a wall though, with flat hands instead, which is also a great option for you guys. Right, so excuse the angle, this is how it's going to be. We're going to extend the arms out. They're going to be shoulder distance apart, and you're going to press away. So your shoulders are lifting up to your ears as you do that. Not too high, about in line with your chest. Your knees are nice and open, and you can tuck the toes to drive forward. I want you to aim to have the knees under your belly button, which is going to feel quite hard, but do the best you can to do that. You'll be tempted to have them further back. Let's try bring them in, right? So pressing away with the arms, sinking down with the chest and the shoulder blades, tucking those toes, checking where your knees are, and then driving that chest down to the ground. Breathe into any area that feels really tight. Keep the arms super, super straight, squeezing those elbows. Relax your head and drive through with the scapula and the lats. Breathing. Good. Staying here for a few seconds. Then I want you to lift the neck forward and up out of the collarbone and drive the collarbone forward and breathe there for 15 seconds. 14, good. 13, 12, 11, good. Sinking, 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 driving through, extending through those arms, good. 5, 4, almost there. 3, 2, 1, and coming out. Good. Ooh, good. Roll those shoulders. That's amazing. Really, really good, guys. We're going to do an activation exercise into your rotator cuffs and the back of your chest, right, to help you open up that chest for your forearm balances. This is a conditioning exercise that is really, really good for your upper back activation. You're going to use a TheraBand. If your band is very stretchy and this isn't hard enough for you, you can double the band up and make it even harder. You can do it kneeling or standing, whatever feels comfy for you. Super simple. Hands are nice and narrow, arms extended up to the ceiling. We're going to pull down. Elbows in and then up. Good. 10 of these. Down. This is 9 and up. Good. And 8. Nice. And up. Controlling, squeezing those elbows together. Good. And up. Nice. And 6. And up. And we go down for 5. Nice. And up. And a 4. Almost there. Good. A 3. Warming up that upper back, conditioning to keep things nice and strong. Good. Nice. And last one. Down. Hold. You're going to press those hands out to the sides. We go 10, 9, 8, 7. Good. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and hold. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Good. 4, 3, 2, 1. Then you're going to extend those arms diagonally back and up like so. Right? And then up and down. Breathing. Good. And then up and over and out. Beautiful. Some nice flossing in those shoulders, as well as some activation into that scapular upper back area. Really, really nice. One more conditioning exercise for your forearm stands that is very, very important is the following. When we do our forearm stands, we want to make sure that our arms are in a nice parallel position like so. What is very common is for the hands to fall in towards each other and the elbows to open up to the side like this. That, however, is going to bring your head to the floor and give you less distance from the floor to push away. It's also going to make it really hard for you to activate into your lats. So you want to make sure that you are squeezing those elbows in and keeping the hands apart. This is going to help you train the muscles that you need to have strong in order to maintain that. Your band is with you. You have your hands under the band with the thumbs, my apologies, other way around, thumbs under the band, hands wrapped around with the palms facing inwards. Shoulders back, elbows in. You keep the elbows in and you squeeze the hands out like this for 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, elbows in, 1. Then we lift up a level. So we lift up away from our body and we squeeze. 5, 4, good. 3, elbows in, 2, 1. Then we lift up another level. We do the same, squeeze. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And last one's above your head. It's quite hard. Do the best you can. 5. Don't rest on your head. 4. Elbows in. 3, 2, 1. And coming out. Amazing. Good, guys. You should feel a nice little burn there. One more time. This time we do pulses, right? So down to our original position. Palms facing in. Elbows squeeze in. Hands out to the sides. We go 5, 4, 3. Good. 2, 1. We lift up and forward. And we go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You lift up to the next level and you pulse 5. Good. 4, 3, 2, 1. And then up above your head, elbows in, and 5, 4. Pulling those hands apart. Good. 2, and 1. Nice. And coming out. Well done, guys. Really good. The conditioning is really, really important. Awesome. Great. Okay, cool. So let me think. Some more upper back stuff to get you nice and warm, and making sure that those hips are nice and open for your forearm stands as well. We're going to use the wall. If your wall is really rough, I want you to place something underneath your foot in order to protect the back of your foot or the top of your foot from being scratched. You can also tuck your toes under, but if you can keep the toes untucked, that's ideal. Right, you can also use a band for this next exercise to help you get into your upper back. In fact, I'm going to show you it with the band first, and then we're going to progress onto the wall. It's going to look as follows. We're going to go into a nice lunge, like so. Right? The wider your lunge is, the deeper you can get into your hip. However, the more unstable that will be. So if you're new to this, keep the foot in as best you can. You want to make sure that your tummy is constantly drawn in, right? And that you're always driving down with the glutes to keep the hip in nice extension. As I've spoken about in my splits class, you want to make sure in your lunges that this front knee stays in line with your belly button, like this, right? It's very natural for this leg to try and fall out to the side, but it doesn't help your back glute activation. So you want to keep it in line with that belly button so that back glute fires nicely. It's going to feel a little bit unnatural. You need to tilt it in like that to match that line. All right? Okay, cool. So remember that when you go into this. Right, so the hip stays low the whole time. Keep driving down with that glutes. Keep the tummy pulled in. We're going to focus on that upper back. With the band, we're going to pull apart. Right, I'm going to lift out of my rib cage. I'm going to extend back with my neck, and I'm going to try squeeze those elbows back and extend my neck back to get as far into my upper back as possible while keeping my hip down. Watch and observe so you can see what I mean. Pulling those abs in, out of the rib cage. Breathing. Good, and finding space. In that upper back, finding balance. Watch that front knee. And if you're more advanced, you can reach and squeeze back. And controlling out of it. Try not to fall. Good. Nice. We do that twice on one side and then repeat on the other side. I'll show you the other side to be clear. Leg forward. Press through with the hip, make sure the glutes is nice and active. Pull the tummy in, knee in, right? So you can alternate sides, or you can do 2 at once and then 2 at once, which I prefer because you can get a little bit deeper the second time round, right? We go down, make sure you are breathing, keep the hip driving down, open up with the elbows, lift out of the rib cage and the upper back. Band to be above your forehead as you pull open with those elbows, head back, neck back, stretch it out. Find some space, keep the hip down. If you're more advanced, stretch back, pull the band, squeeze, 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 hip down, and slowly coming out with control. Try not to jerk out of it. Good. Really nice. Again, you're repeating twice on both sides, and you're most welcome to do it 3 to 4 times on each side if you can. All right. So, that's really great. The progression is moving to a wall to use your arms to drive your head back towards your butt to make a greater curve in your spine. After this, we'll do our nice forearm stance. Okay, so no band, wall behind you, your bottom knee is nice and padded, and if you need your back foot to be padded, that's padded too. Okay, so taking your foot onto the wall and making sure you're not too far away. If you are far away, you won't be able to reach the wall. which is just a bit problematic and is not going to allow you to do the exercise correctly. If you find that you're doing this and you just don't have enough bend to get back to the wall, it's perfectly fine. I would recommend working the previous exercise again to try and find some more activation into the upper back before you move onto a wall progression. So this is definitely a little bit more advanced. So don't worry if you're not there quite yet. Just keep working the previous lunge exercise. Right, so the foot is up, tucked, the knee is on the floor, and you're going to lunge the other leg forward. That can be as close or as far as you can maintain, right? The further away, the less stable. Okay, so from here, what you want to do is you want to keep the hip down, driving down with this glute. It's active the whole time. Your knee is in. Your tummy is pulled in to support your spine. Really important. I like to hook my fingers and pull apart to find my upper back a bit more, pulling those elbows back. Right, then you're going to take your neck into extension and your rib cage up, and you're going to extend back. You're going to place your hands onto the wall and press away, stretching into those elbows. You can creep them down as far as you can, keep that front knee in, and then what I want you to do is squeeze that neck back, like so, looking back for your foot. Hands can come down and squeeze back even more. Breathe, hands down, squeezing back. And then, if you can, squeeze that foot to your face and hold. And then slowly coming out of the exercise. Right? Good. Do that twice on both sides. You'll find that you can use the arms to really try to squeeze the head back. And what I want you to do is make sure that you are breathing, make sure that you're staying super calm. The more you breathe, the calmer you can stay, the further you can go, and the more space you can find in your positions. You must do it equally on both sides, right? So that you're not training one side of your back more than the other. It's likely that one side will feel more bendy than the other side. Try train your bad side an extra time if you do have a bit of unevenness in that regard. All right, really good. So you should have done that about twice on each side, maybe 3 times. We're going to move on to our forearm balances, right? We're going to go into how to get into them, and then we're going to go into how to work through them. Again, using your wall for this exercise. Like I've spoken about, you're going to have your arms on the floor parallel in this shape. If you find that they really are quite naughty and the hands keep sliding in or the elbows keep sliding out, you can do the following to help train your body to not do that. You can either have a mini band wrapped around your biceps, just here above your elbows, to try keep those elbows in and train them to remain inward, or you can have a yoga block between your wrists, so the top of your wrists, so that the hands can't creep in towards each other. When you go into your forearm stance, when you start kicking up, you need to make sure that you are creating space between your face and the ground. So your head doesn't end up on the ground and you don't end up doing a headstand. That's not what we're going for here. You want to make sure that you're not relaxing through your shoulders here like this, but you are pushing away and creating space as much as possible, shrugging up away with those shoulders. All right? A very, very important note. It's also easy in your forearm stance to forget about your tummy. Don't forget about it. Pull that belly button into your spine to support your back bend. Okay, so number 1, getting into your forearm stand is going to look as follows. You're facing your wall. Your arms are parallel. You're going to tuck the toes, push away with the arms, and lift the hips. 2 options. You're either going to lift one leg up as high as you can, and from that squeezed position, you're going to bend and lift up and over to find the wall, right? Or you're going to do the following. You're going to release one leg, bend a knee, and try kick up. And then you can keep kicking to see if you can get higher and higher and higher until you can bring both legs up to the wall for your forearm stand. Right? For some people, initially, you have to get over the fear of being upside down. It's very normal. If for the first few sessions you just have to do that, perfectly fine. Just keep working that. You're going to be working the strength in your arms and your shoulders, and you're going to be working on that psychological fear, which is perfectly okay to begin with. If you're over that, you're going to progress to the next step, which is as follows. On your forearms, you do exactly the same thing to get into your entry, whichever one you prefer. Up, over, right, getting onto the wall. And then here, keeping the legs apart, tummy in, push up with your shoulders, and then grow the neck forward, chest towards the floor, and look up, right? Here, if you can, keep the neck forward, tummy in. See if you can lift and balance with straight legs. They can be together or apart, whatever works for you, right? See if you can hold for 5 to 10 seconds or even longer if you are more advanced. The more you can curl that upper back through, the better. That's where our counterbalance is coming from for our forearm stands. You can do that a couple times and just find the strength in that straight leg position. Obviously, if you're not quite there yet, you don't have to work the balance, but once you're familiar with the position, you are trying to find a little bit of suspension off in a balanced position. Okay, once you've done that a couple times, you can progress to the next step. You can do this next step on a couch or a chair, or again with the wall, it's perfectly fine. I'm going to explain it and then show you it. So basically, you're going to get up into your forearm stand with your legs straight over your head, right? Then you're going to bend one foot down nice and slow, the other foot down, right? Then you're going to push one foot into the surface, and that's going to squeeze into your hip, which then is going to allow you to try and curl your head through and under. You do that for 5 seconds, you do the other side, push, curl the head under, and then both feet push for 5 seconds and curl under. Then you can release and try balance. I'm going to show you and try talk you through it so you can understand. As you advance, you can make it 10 seconds with each push and just try find some balance. So it looks as follows. Getting up into your position, make sure you breathe, up and over, right? Sink through, or curl through rather, tummy in, then one foot comes down, the other foot comes down, you push into those feet, one foot pushes predominantly, and you curl. The other foot pushes predominantly, and you curl. You push both feet, and then when you're ready, you bend and you hold. And then coming out of your position, right? And you can do that as many times as you want to practice your forearm balances, obviously aiming for as much balance as possible. If you are more advanced, once you've done that exercise, you can do a freestanding kick up and over to hold your forearm balance in whatever shape you want to work. Thanks for joining the class, guys. If you have done all this back bending, I'd highly recommend you do 30 to 60 reps of low core abs to make sure that you are resetting your body and priming yourself for really good recovery post back bends. Just check out my other classes, have a lovely day, and congratulations on getting through it all. Well done.